5. But this flash flood warning, this is serious business because you have trained weather spotters reporting this thunderstorm producing an inch of rain as it moves slowly west at 5. An inch has already fallen. Flash flooding is expected to begin shortly. Spotters are reporting flooding along Highway 287. Travel not advised in the Loveland and Berthoud areas due to the heavy rain and the flooding. Another 1 to 2 inches of rain is possible this evening, which would be devastating in this area. Still recovering from the September flood, still dealing with flood warnings from our substantial May rain event. This is just going to be a very difficult situation for these areas tonight. Southern Greeley, Longmont, southwestern Loveland, Evans, Firestone, Johnstown, Milliken, Platteville, move to higher ground now. We want you to act quickly. We don't want you to take pictures. We don't want you to gather up too many things. We want you to get to higher ground because there is water in the foothills and it's coming downhill. And many of the areas are already looking at saturated soils in this area. So not a lot of room, not a lot of places for it to go. So if you are watching me in these areas under this flash flood warning, Milliken, Platteville, Berthoud, Johnstown, Longmont, Meade, I need you to move out, get to high ground. Don't mess around. Don't try to drive across water. Don't try to do something crazy. A couple of inches of water, fast-moving water, can displace an SUV and can move you off of your feet and would be absolutely devastating. So again, to reiterate, flash flood warning now, our big story in this area for heavy flooding rain in an area that really can't handle more water tonight. And I'm going to put the radar back on and we're going to kind of monitor the development of this cell, which is not weakened substantially, but now kind of splitting into two pieces here. And we're going to kind of watch how it kind of formed, collided, and then is moving back toward the west. I do have another tornado warning I really need to show you. This cell down in Elbert County has been a real pain all afternoon. It's produced a huge tornado that was on the ground for about 20 minutes outside of Simla. No reports of significant damage there, thankfully. But a tornado warning does remain in effect for this area near Carville until 8 o'clock tonight because this cell just keeps on producing funnel clouds. We've had reports of at least 4 tornadoes in Elbert County and El Paso County, and we also now have a new severe thunderstorm warning that is out for Calhoun and Rama, hit pretty hard by the tornadic activity earlier on today and the large hail. So I wanted to show you this. That is mainly rural areas we're dealing with there, but really, truly, the big story this hour. Yes, Denver is under a tornado watch until 10 o'clock. Our weather scene, relatively quiet. We have a few showers coming in. If you're watching me in Castle Pines North, Parker, Lone Tree, that little cell right now is not severe. That could change at any moment. These cells down here are moving northeast. The interesting thing is, up north, this cell is moving toward the west, back into the foothill areas. And so, oh boy, yep, that Elbert County tornado is going to be extended out until 8 o'clock, and that cell is southwest of Lyman, and we'll go back to that in a minute. But I really want to show you, travel is just not advised northbound I-25 out of Denver. If you're headed up Highway 287, already reports of substantial flooding in that area. Please do not drive into water. You don't know how deep it is. Spotters in the area have already mentioned an inch of rain has fallen. Flooding has already occurred, and that flash flood warning will be extended out for, you know, what could be a rather dangerous scenario, because as this cell, and I'll put the storm track on here, moves rather counterintuitively, if you will, back to the west instead of off to the east, which is typically where we see these cells go, that creates a little bit of an upslope component, and that means there is water in the foothills that's going to come downhill. And so if you are in these areas, please move to higher ground. Please don't take too long to gather things and figure stuff out. I just want you to move out of that area. Lyons, Longmont, Berthoud, 1-inch diameter hail in the area, Johnstown, Platteville. We no longer have a tornado warning, but this cell did produce a tornado in Berthoud, and again, there may be structure and property damage. Our crews are, efforting that information for us, and we'll certainly get that for you tonight as well. But the heavy rain that continues to fall in the area may just be the tip of the iceberg, because notice the cell isn't moving a lot, and notice that the cell is not weakening a lot. And so that area you're seeing in magenta is a flash flood warning zone, which means another inch or two of rain on top of the heavy rain and hail they've already seen would be pretty devastating and pretty difficult for many of those areas to deal with right now, considering the May rain that we saw and many of these same areas hit by the September flooding. So if you And apparently we've got some more pictures that we can share with you now on our digital network that have been coming in. We so appreciate your weather reports and your pictures, but we really need you to be safe. Suzanne Johnson on Pace Road near Longmont sending that picture. Tim Ryan sending in this picture out near Meade. Again, that was the one tornado confirmed near Berthoud, a very large wedge tornado that we believe may have created some structure and property damage in the area. Looking back, I believe, toward the west from Erie, that tornado was clearly visible by a lot of people. The storm structure and movement, that's the problem. It's not moving a whole lot. It's kind of expanding and shifting, but it's not moving out. So flooding is of prime concern in and around Highway 36, Lyons, Highway 287, flooding already reported there. We need you to make sure you're in a place where you are safe and at higher ground. And we don't want you to go out and try to photograph this. We don't want you to go out and try to drive through it. We need you to drive yourself out of there. And if you're expecting people coming in or you're thinking of driving into these areas, I advise that you do not do that until we move this cell out or it weakens substantially, because that is a lot of water with nowhere to go. And as I stop this right here, still now our radar is showing that this cell has signs of rotation. So a very dangerous, severe thunderstorm sitting right over Berthoud and Lyons and the Longmont area. So this is something we're just going to continue to track and monitor. And notice, if you kind of look off to the east, the little blue zones, those are all flood advisories that have already gone up. And, you know, this whole area basically is under a tornado watch until 9 o'clock, and that includes Denver, Greeley, Fort Collins. That's that yellow box there. The vivid yellow south of Kiowa is a severe thunderstorm warning, but that magenta area is really the bullseye for what could be a very long night ahead for many of you in Boulder County and in the Larimer County area. We have a flash flood warning out for that area, Longmont and Platteville, until 10:15. Extensive lightning. This cell has produced a 1-inch diameter hail and has already produced some flooding in and around the Lyons area. It is moving back toward the west, and let me take that off because that tornado warning canceled out, so we will get rid of that. So again, the biggest threat this hour is with the flooding and not necessarily the rotation, which appears to have weakened somewhat. But we must monitor this cell. It's certainly in the Longmont areas, Highway 36 up to Lyons. There's a lot of water on the roadways up that way that we're tracking as well. The light shaded blue area, it is west of Broomfield and south of Boulder, is a flood advisory. El Dorado Springs, anybody up and in and near that canyon area, we need you to seek higher ground. There will be some water coming down between now and 9 o'clock. Flood warnings remain in effect. Evans, Kersey, LaSalle, areas in and around Weld County. And again, that flash flood warning, the magenta area, is an area that really can't handle a whole lot more water. And we've seen a lot of water with this cell, which continues to show signs of rotation. The hail reports coming in are impressive as well. A lot of you sending in pictures on Facebook, Twitter. We've got a page on 9news.com where you can put your pictures on. And we've got a whole page of what is just very large hail coming in from Loveland and Greeley, Fort Collins, and up toward the Alt area. The cell just isn't moving, and we're hoping that with the loss of the heating of the day, we may see some weakening with this system, but we certainly have not seen that yet. So just to reiterate, these areas are going to be dealing with flooding sooner rather than later, and a flash flood warning means that flooding is occurring or it is imminent. And we're getting that reports from these spotters in the area across southeastern Larimer County, northeastern Boulder County, and southwestern Weld County An inch of rain has already fallen. They're expecting flash flooding to begin shortly, and spotters are